Well, good morning. My name's Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Sunday morning, get yourself a coffee. It's been a long week. I've been in here at Beaver Creek since last Sunday. Actually, be Monday morning. I came in Monday morning after taking grandson number 1 back home. He came in for his annual deer hunt into camp. He's got the same problem when it comes to deer season that I had when I was his age. It's called school. His mother said he cannot take any more days off from school. If any of you are not taking young people out hunting, even a little bit, even if it's one day, I don't care if it's bird hunting or rabbit hunting or squirrel hunting or the almighty white-tailed deer, you're really missing out. I have never really been a kid person. I know that sounds awful harsh, but I like kids when they get old enough to play with. You know, when they get old enough to be, you know, 5, 6, 7 in that area. And not that I dislike them when they're younger. It's just that I'm a full-grown man. And I do man things, you know, so I've waited very patiently for the grandsons to grow up. I got 4 of them, and, you know, of course I've been doing things with them right along, right from the beginning, but I really couldn't wait until they got big enough to go to camp, you know, and enjoy camp that way, you know. I made a rule a long time ago, is when you're old enough to take care of yourself, then you're old enough to hang out with Papa. You know, that means you know how to go to the bathroom by yourself. You can go to the bathroom by yourself. All that kind of stuff. And so that's, you know, that's just the kind of the way it's been. But anyways, this year, I was able to bring out my grandson number 1, which you guys saw the video. I was able to bring out grandson number 2, which you were able to see his video as well. And what a time we had. What a time we had. That's, I really want them to take over this Beaver Creek outpost and treat it like it's their own as they grow, because it is theirs. There is no way on God's green planet that I am selling this piece of property. So, the tax bill is very light in here. It's actually 2 pieces of property. One is 10 acres, and the other one was 5 acres that right side by side. 10 acres I was able to trade a 1973 boat for. The 5 acres beside that I had to purchase, but it was the only good piece of land that was good enough to put a cabin on. So between the 2 properties, the tax bill is under $100 a year. $665 for the 10 and $35 for the 5 acre piece. So I've told my family that I want this in the family for a long, long time. somebody dummy up the $100 and keep this in the family. You know, I got the ball rolling, I got it started, so I expect the family to maintain it. I expect the family to carry on. It's not a whole lot to carry on here. You got to maintain this little tiny building, which I built it in a way that it will maintain itself. It is a flat roof with lots of rafters, with an ice and water shield barrier, and then steel roofing on top of that. So there's no maintenance when it comes to the roof of this thing. Same thing with the chimney. No maintenance when it comes to the wood stove. I built the interior. Same deal. Got the steel roofing that goes around the wood stove to protect the building from the wood stove. And it's just a self-reliant place that you could come to. It doesn't take a whole lot to get moved in. Doesn't take a lot to get moved out. So I really, and every time I bring the boys in, we go over how to maintain. We go over how to take care of the cabin. We go over the trails. You know, I don't have a lot of trails in here, but the trails are important. They go to each one of my tree stands. They circle each one of my tree stands, so that if a deer or a bear, now the odds of getting a bear down here during deer season are slimmer than up at the other cabin. A lot more bear in the population up at the other cabin. And I have taken bear at the other cabin during deer season from a deer stand. So, but I always wait, you know, here, I know there's bear in the area, and you know, you just never know. You know, you never know what could come trotting by the tree stand in the course of a day. But the boys have a good time in here, and that's why I started out this video saying, if you haven't taken a young person out hunting, search one out. Search one out. I took my great nephew bird hunting. Well, he wanted to go bird hunting. It more turned into a squirrel hunting day last fall in October. But I had a blast. I had a blast. At noontime, you know, I did what I always do. I put together a tailgate lunch. And at lunchtime, we hauled out the tailgate lunch. And we had a cup of soup with a toasted cheese salmon sandwich. While I was getting lunch ready, I handed him a .22 single shot, set up a target for him, and let him shoot 22s until he got tired of shooting a 22. But I had, at the end of the day, I put a video together. We shared that video with you guys. But at the end of the day, I had a blast. Here we are a year later, and I never got to spend that much time alone with him. You know, my great nephew, just because of family things and all that. Nothing bad there. Just, you know, they got, you know, everybody's got their own life, you know, and everybody's got their own. He's into sports and all that. But I got to spend the entire day with him, bird hunting, squirrel hunting, and at the end of the day, it was a really good time. It was a really good time. I wish I had more time to spend with him, but I got 4 grandsons, and I only got so much time. I'm only one person, so between even like my deer hunting, even my deer hunting has had to take a back burner to getting these boys started. It is important for me to try to get these boys off to a good start when it comes to the deer hunting, or anything. You know, it's all not really just about the deer hunting. It's about getting them to be good young men of character. You know, not just I don't. You know, we can go down a whole bunch of rabbit lanes here. I want them to grow up to have character and stand on their own 2 feet. Not be a cookie cutter cutout of what so many men today seem to be. You know, I like to consider myself a little bit of the odd duck. You know, the self-employed, common sense, seat of your pants kind of guy. You see something that needs to be done, you get in there and get it done. Or you get in there and you get it fixed. So many people now, I see lazy. I see lazy everywhere. And it really bothers me. You know, and I don't want to go down that road too awful much. But I don't want my grandsons to grow up to be lazy. And this particular year, and I get to watch them every year. That's the nice thing about coming out here year after year with them. You know, each one of them now, Joshua, this would have been his second year of deer hunting with the youth day. He still owns that youth day hunt. Probably next year it's going to go on to Lincoln. And I started breaking the water to him that, you know, next year it might be Lincoln in here on youth day. And Lincoln is a lot younger, but he's coming up a lot faster because he's got two older brothers. And he's not taking no for an answer. I like to push the boys out to about 10 years old before I start taking them deer hunting. And Lincoln, he just turned 6. So he'll be 7. He'll be 7 here. He turned 6 last year. So he'll be 7 anyways. We just got his lifetime license picked up this week. He will get that at Christmas time. So we've managed to get all the boys their lifetime fishing and hunting license. Once their birthday comes around, before they turn, what is it? So that's right. So he's not 6, he's 5. He'll be 5. Because after 5, I think the price goes up a lot more. So we try to get it purchased before the fifth birthday. So that's where he's at anyways. And they're happy as a clam when they open up that gift and it's a lifetime hunting and fishing license. I don't think they really know what it is at the point, but I hope someday when they're in their 20s and 30s, if they're still hunting and fishing and all that, I think at that point it will really register what a gift that is to have a lifetime hunting and fishing license. My thought when we started doing that was they would always think of pupper. They would always think of pupper way, way, way down the road when they're looking at their hunting license or their fishing license and just plain have a good memory of pupper. So that's my deal there. So I guess this is about take a young person out hunting, get them started, turn them into good, strong young men and not lazy. I got on that topic a minute ago, then the video's getting too long. You guys will only watch for so long. But anyways, it's been fun to watch Joshua. 2 years ago, he kind of sat back in the way back and watch and let other people do the work as far as getting the gear lugged in and all of that. And this year, man, you couldn't ask for a better helper. He muckled onto that gear and hauled it out of the 6-wheeler, got it lugged into the cabin. We named him Water Boy for the whole hunting trip, and he just thought that was the best thing since pie and molasses. He loved being called Water Boy. I'd say, hey, I said, whenever I say Water Boy, that means you got to go to the 6-wheeler and get a gallon of water. Not enough room in here to store the water, so we leave it outside. So I'd holler, hey, Water Boy. And he'd be lickety-split, getting his sneakers on and going out to get a gallon of water. He was proud as a peacock with that, being called Water Boy. So, and watching him grow like that makes a papa proud. And then the same thing with Caleb. You guys have kind of watched Caleb grow up since boy, he started in this stuff really young. And he is growing up to be a nice young man. So I'm really happy to see that. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. And Papa really loves his grandkids. So we'll let this one go here. Hey, you guys have a great Sunday. This will be coming out, I don't know, down the road, I guess. But have a sip of coffee with me on your way out. and I will see you next week.